Recording in progress.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the regular Temple City City Council meeting to order for December 7th, 2021. Pursuant to AB 361, signed by Governor Newsom on September 16th, 2021, cities are allowed to hold city council meetings via teleconferencing, and members of the public can observe and address the meeting telephonically or electronically. To listen to the meeting telephonically, please call 1-669-900-6833, meeting ID 811-1858-2184, passcode 788155, or through the city's live webcast on YouTube, Connect with TC. Madam City Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Chavez?
Here.
Councilmember Mann?
Here.
Councilmember Vizcarra is absent. Mayor Pro Tem Sternquist is absent. Mayor Yu?
I'm here.
Motion to excuse Councilmember Vizcarra and Mayor Pro Tem Sternquist for cause.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. Any objections? Hearing none. Councilmember Vizcarra and Mayor Pro Tem Sternquist are excused. For those calling in, your audio will be unmuted during public comment and when public comment is open during an agendized item discussion. Public comment email received prior to or during the meeting will not be read, but will be included in the record. At this time, we'll move to the next item, invocation. I'm very fortunate again to have Mr. Jerry Jambazian, owner of Wonders Cleaners and Drapery, located at 9136 East Las Tunas Drive. And Mr. Jambazian will lead us with the invocation. Mr. Jambazian.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's bow in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for yet another day to do the business of Temple City. In the midst of everything going on in the world today, we are grateful that nothing escapes your eye. As we approach this holiday season, we are reminded of a season of hope, safety, renewal, family, and health. We saw that on display last Friday as we once again celebrated Lights on Temple City with hundreds of excited citizens. With increased lawlessness and unrest, we pray for our sheriffs at Temple Station, our firefighters from Engine 47, our first responders, our hospital workers, and our military who protect the freedoms that we enjoy. And with that freedom comes responsibility. This Friday, Temple City will host 2 vaccination clinics. We are grateful for the vaccination rate of our children and adults, and for the way we are proactive as a city and as a school district. We remain careful to give you the praise for all you do to keep Temple City a wonderful place to live. And in your name we pray, amen.
Amen. Mr. Jambazian, thank you so very much for that.
Thank you, Mayor.
For the uplifting prayer. Thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we really need that at this time of the year. Next item is Pledge of Allegiance. So please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item is ceremonial matters, presentations. There are none. And next item is public comments on items not listed on the agenda. The time for public comments starts now. I will ask any member of the public watching at home to call in at the Zoom number. Once you are on, the city clerk will make sure you're able to speak. Actually, I don't see the Zoom number here, so I'll just repeat it. 1-669-900-6833, meeting ID 811-1858-2184, passcode 7888155. So, Madam City Clerk, are there any public callers offering comments?
Mayor Yu, there's a caller on the line and we have requested them to unmute their audio if they wish to speak.
So we did not hear her speak. So are there any email comments?
No, there are no requests to speak through the email.
Okay. So if no caller, with nothing more from the public and a reasonable time have been given for them to call in, I will close public comment and move on to the next item on the agenda. The next item is consent calendar. All consent calendar items may be approved in a single motion as recommended unless removed for further discussion. If members of the City Council or persons in the audience wish to discuss any matters listed on the consent calendar, please address them at this time. So I will ask any members of public watching at home to call in at the Zoom number. Once you're on, the City Clerk will make sure you're able to speak. Madam Clerk, perhaps you can start the clock.
Yes, Mayor.
Okay. So while the members calling in, are there any City Council member questions for staff on any of the consent calendar items? So, okay, that's good. So we'll give the public a few more minutes to call in, and in case you missed the Zoom number, let me repeat it. It's 1-669-900-6833, meeting ID 811-1858-2184, passcode 7888155. So, Madam City Clerk, are there any public callers offering comments on the consent calendar?
Mayor Yu, there are no requests to speak and there are no email requests to speak either. I'm sorry, if I may add, on the YouTube stream, the calling information and calling ID the slide is displayed.
I see. Okay.
Mayor Yu, I would make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Chavez?
Yes.
Councilmember Mann?
No.
Mayor Yu?
Yes. So the consent calendar has been approved. Next item is public hearing. There's one item. So, but we are going to continue this item. This item is adoption of urgent ordinance number 21-1058 U, and introduction and first reading ordinance number 21-1059, implementing SB 9 relating to urban lot splits. We're going to continue this item to next meeting, but before we take a motion to continue, we would like to ask for if there are any public comments on this item. So. So Madam City Clerk, are there any callers calling in regarding this item?
Mayor Yu, there are no callers on the line, and there's no email request to speak.
Okay, so I will close public comments. So we need a motion to continue this item to our next meeting, the next regular meeting.
Mayor Yu, I'll move that we move this item to our next regular meeting of this month.
Second.
Do we have a specific date, or is that okay?
That is December 21st, sir. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Chavez,
Yes.
Councilmember Mann,
Yes.
Mayor Yu.
Yes, so we will continue to hear this item at our next meeting on the 21st. There are two other items that are coming up: unfinished business item 9A and new business item 10A. They will both be continued to a special council meeting next week. So let me read the title. For the unfinished business, it is discussion and possible adoption of resolution to continue to allow city council meetings to be held remotely, consistent with Assembly Bill 361. I think we need to open for public comments again before we take a motion to continue this item to a special council meeting.
And just while we're waiting for the public, we don't need a date, sir. It's not a public hearing that was that had notice published. And so in light of that, we can simply continue it to a special meeting to be held within the next week. And the agenda will be prepared by staff after confirming that all 5 of you are available.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, sir.
So, Madam City Clerk, are there any callers addressing the council at this time on this
Mayor
item?
Yu, we have one new caller, and I'm going to ask them to unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, caller.
Yes.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please identify yourself and you have 3
Yes.
minutes to address the council regarding this item.
Yes, my name is Ewan Taylor, and I'm a resident at 8623 Garibaldi Avenue. And I'd like to address the ordinance for the urban lot split.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. So I reviewed the proposal and
I don't
actually,
think that's not before us right
was-
now. Yes, that she's speaking about the urban lot splits. We're not on that item right now.
yes,
Yeah, we just passed.
okay,
this
when are you gonna talk about the item?
This item will be the urban lots, but the AB 9 item will be continued and heard on December 21st regular city council meeting.
Okay, so I will be able to talk about that on December 21st?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, okay, yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for calling in tonight. So are there any other callers, Madam Clerk?
Mayor Yu, there are no other callers.
I will close public comments. And do we have a motion to continue this to a date to be determined, special city council meeting?
I would make a motion that we continue item 9A to a date to be determined apparently within next week or so.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Chavez,
Yes.
Councilmember Mann,
Yes.
Mayor Yu.
Yes. So we will continue item 9A to a special city council meeting to be announced for next week. So next item is new business, naming the park on Primrose Avenue. And again, we are going to continue this item when the full city council can meet to a date to be determined. But before we take a motion, we're going to open for public comments in case anyone wants to address the council regarding this item. Madam Clerk, I actually don't see any callers calling in at this time.
That's correct, Mayor.
And there are no email requests to speak, right?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. Since we're given it considerable time, I am going to close the public comment period. We need a motion to continue this item to.
Mayor, I'll move that we continue item 10A to a date to be determined.
Second.
Madam Clerk, the item is moved and seconded. The motion has been moved and seconded. Could you take a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Chavez,
Yes.
Councilmember Mann,
Yes.
Mayor Yu,
Yes. So we will continue this item to a date to be announced. Moving on to the next item, updates from the city manager, Mr. Cook.
Thank you, Mayor Yu and members of the councils. I will be brief, and I will have Mr. Arzumi and Mr. Matsumoto give us some brief updates as well. As you know, last Tuesday, myself and Mayor Pro Tem Sternquist provided testimony at the LA County Redistricting Commission regarding the supervisory districts. There is actually a meeting tonight, which we did submit an additional letter clarifying and reiterating our position with 2 of the 3 maps, including us, keeping us in District 5 and 1 excluding us from District 5. So that has been submitted again for the record with the Redistricting Commission. Mr. Arzumi will give a brief update on coffee with the captain.
Could I ask a simple question before you move on to?
Yes, sir.
So do we know when the commission will vote and finalize those maps?
Yes. Thank you for that question, sir. They have to adopt a final map, and approve it by December 15th. So they have about a week or so. So they've gone through several special meetings since Tuesday, in fact. One particular on Saturday, and I believe there was an ad hoc on Sunday or possibly Monday, but they have to adopt a map by December 15th.
Once adopted, when will it take effect? Immediately?
It takes effect essentially immediately, but there is a cycle of time for the term of the individual supervisor to carry through.
I see. So
that's my understanding.
Okay. All right. Thank you. If I'm not mistaken, Supervisor Catherine Barger is like her term ends in 24, I believe. So in theory, if we were going to leave SD5, that would not take place until her term ends in 24.
It's my understanding, but something I can definitely clarify for the council.
Okay, we'll see how the vote goes. All right. Okay, thank you.
If that were the case, then why are they even doing that now? I mean, that doesn't make much sense.
I can't remember when there's a timing issue between the seats, but I can clarify that. I can clarify that for the council.
When was the last time they did this redistricting, do you know?
Every 10 years, sir.
Okay, so trying to remember 10 years ago what happened. Vince, you and I were on the council.
It moved a little bit, but I think for the most part, 5th district didn't really change. There are other districts that kind of move a few streets over. But this time around, seemingly the maps, as I kind of take in a cursory look, they seems to be quite drastic. So
They are significant, and this is the first time this panel of citizens with this commission has redrawn supervisory districts, supervisorial districts in LA County. So this is a new process. From my understanding, what I was listening to during the hearings, this is the first time this has happened in this manner in LA County. So new process, interesting, but we've expressed what our preferences.
right, thank you.
If it's okay, Mary, if I can ask Mr. Arzumi to give a brief update for the community on Coffee with the Captain and Coffee with the Cup.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr. Cook.
Arzumi.
Thank you, Mayor. Tomorrow morning, the city and the sheriff's department will be hosting Coffee with the Captain at Cloverleaf, located at 9475 Las Tunas Drive. The event will be held on their outdoor patio from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And so the public is invited to come out and have discussion with our captain as well as our Temple City deputies.
Thank you, Mr. Arzumi. And Mary, if I may turn it over to Mr. Matsumoto just to let the public know about our vaccination clinic that Mr. Jambazian mentioned earlier today.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. Good evening, Mayor Yu and City Council. We do have our Temple City vaccine clinic taking place this Friday at Live Oak Park. The vaccination clinic event will take place from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and that's going to be in our Bogue parking lot. Now, we do expect some rain on Thursday. If that does carry over, we'll still have the event and we would transition it indoors to the community center in the event of inclement weather. We are encouraging pre-registration for the vaccine clinic event. You can get first dose series, booster shots, as well as flu shots for all 3 vaccines. So for Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. If you're not able to register beforehand, we are accepting walk-up vaccinations as well. So again, that's taking place this Friday at Live Oak Park from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Great, thank you.
That concludes my report, Mary Yu.
All right, thank you. Great job. Looking forward to the vaccination clinic. Next item is update from the city attorney, Mr. Murphy.
No update tonight. We received the 150-page legislative update from the League of California Cities late last week, and I'm reading that over and should have 4 or 5 short items to give to you at your next meeting, items of interest for the start of calendar year 2022. So that's where we are on legislation, and hopefully we'll have some things of interest for you then. Thank you.
Thank you. So next item is council reports regarding ad hoc or standing committee meetings. Are there any reports? From anyone?
Tom, did we report out for the standing committee for the school district?
Yeah, I do have my notes here. If you want me to go ahead and do it, and you want to add whatever I forget. But Council Member Mann and I met with the standing committee with the Temple City Unified. It was about a week ago, and basically went over different items. Let's see what I have in my notes. One of you may have seen it, that the high school is looking into beginning a preschool program at the high school campus, I believe. And so they're looking into that. And I believe they've even requested someone from the city. I don't know if that's going to be Bryan or someone to be part of that, perhaps. And so that's more to follow. As mentioned, they're going to be having a couple of COVID clinics coming up, one which is this Friday, I believe, And so they're doing that as well. Let's see, they are still running their virtual academy. It's still being offered. There are currently over 500 students part of the virtual academy. That is, that they are not attending live classes, they are online. Enrollment's a little bit down apparently, but they're looking for ways to increase the enrollment. Maybe even extending the guidelines as far as who can register at in the Temple City School. They do plan on doing a musical. They're just not sure when and how, but they're hopefully going to do their annual musical or start it again. They got Matt is coming back to help them try to get that off the ground. And many of you may be aware that they do have some new administrators at the different schools, and so hopefully one of these days we'll get a chance to meet many of them. And let's see what else. They have not returned to live school board meetings as yet as well. I think they're talking about also looking after the first year to begin that. All I have in my notes, William, unless you have something else.
No, that's pretty comprehensive. I guess the one bit I'll add is when they were talking about declining student enrollment, I think part of their hope was the virtual academy and some of these other programs that they're expanding or building upon would attract more students that might want to go out of district from outside of Temple City Unified and into the Temple City Unified School District. So that's remains to be seen, but I think that's in their, that's part of their goal, is to try to expand that. And I will also add, we did want to, at the end of each of these meetings, we try to plan ahead and bring up potential agenda items to discuss. And one of those items has to do with looking at the potential of a joint use agreement. But again, a lot of these items are in flux due to COVID and the use of physical spaces has evolved, and that's an ongoing conversation that I know our city manager, Mr. Cook, and his staff are having with the school district. And I believe our next meeting is was it March, Tom?
We haven't set a date. We were talking about setting a date in about 2 to 3 months. So staff was going to get together, but probably around that time.
Yeah, we try to do it every 3 months or so, but yeah, February is kind of a crazy month. So
yeah, so probably in March.
All right. Thank you for that report. Any other reports? I guess not. We'll move on to the next item, which is council items separate from the city manager's regular agenda, starting with Councilmember Min.
Thank you, Mayor Yu. Yeah, it's been a while since our last council meeting, but there's been a lot of things. I just want to say I was happy to attend the Camellia Festival homecoming luncheon. That was the weekend before Thanksgiving. I think the committee has done a great job planning for the upcoming year, and it's they had a virtual event the year prior, so I think a lot of people were excited just to be able to see each other in person, and it was a good attendance, good to see everyone, and excited for all the things that they had planned. Fingers crossed that the current trend of the coronavirus won't thwart or disrupt those plans. Secondly, as Mr. Jambazian mentioned earlier, I thought we had a fantastic lights on Temple City. Major props to our staff. I know Director Matsumoto and his entire crew there did a phenomenal job in kind of putting a different spin on things. I know we were missing a lot of the traditional festivities for our kids, like the snow and so on. But they took the snow and made it into what's that machine called? The one that yeah, a snow machine. And so that I thought that was a nice touch. And I think we got a lot more people than we may have anticipated, which I thought was a good showing. People were excited to be out. So yeah, a fantastic organization. Glad to see so many people out. And lastly, on the same day as Lights on TC, I had the privilege of hosting a quick, COVID safe city hall tour with our city manager, Bryan Cook, for 2 groups of ELD students from Temple City High. Shout out to their mentor, Teresa Huang, who reached out to us. We've done it before a couple of years ago. The ELD students are mainly students who have recently immigrated to the US. So most of them are still learning English, and it's interesting to hear some of their questions, because we gave them kind of like a crash course in what local government, how it operates, the council city manager relationship, how our contract city, what our planning department does, what does Parks and Rec do, and of course the favorite part of everyone's tour is always getting to see council chambers and pretending to be the council or the mayor. So it was great to see the students engage in asking questions, and yeah, it was just great to have them. And and I know we have one more meeting, but I'm kind of trying to get into the whole holiday season, Christmas mood, and just hoping everyone stays safe, and let's do everything we can so that this new variant and the news of all this new variant isn't gonna dampen the holiday mood. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Mann. Councilmember Chavez.
Thank you. I would echo Councilmember Mann's comments. Same events. All really nice. Nice to get back in somewhat of I really can't say a normalcy, but at least back to some of the things we're accustomed to. One other thing, kind of related to the school board meeting, Councilmember Mann and Mayor Yu and I were part of the WASC accreditation meeting that was had between with the school board, and they invited us to be part of that. And very interesting. They have to obviously go through this accreditation every so often, and there was pretty high praise by the members of the committee, and I believe that they were pretty satisfied with all the answers, particularly with the fact that they were impressed, I think, most with the cooperation between the school board and the city council, and the partnerships that we continue to have. And so that was, I think, got their attention. So it's a good meeting. So I want to thank them for inviting us to be part of that as well. And I think that's about it. We still do have one more meeting before Christmas, so save that for later. That's it. Thank you.
You're on mute, Mayor Yu.
Sorry, thank you. And I do echo everything that's been said. Actually at this accreditation meeting, I think that stands for Western Association for Schools and Colleges for Temple City High. Actually, Mr. Jim Basin was there, also representing the community, and offer many great observations. So I saw him take many notes, the visiting evaluators, and they're very impressed with our youth commission as well. And Councilmember Chavez was able to tell them what that was about. So, again, very impressive Lights on Temple City, and I had a blast too with the snow machine. So hopefully we can continue that. I'm really pleasantly surprised this year how many people actually did show up. I've done it for a few years, of course, but I think this year, I don't know, maybe folks are really missing the opportunity to be out. Actually, I have a lot more people yelling out "Merry Christmas" to me this time, as the car passes on Las Tunas. I think. It used to be I would yell that out Merry Christmas to them, but this time I heard a lot more of them saying that to me. So I think it's a great event. So with that, I think we can go to the next item, that is additional public comments on item not listed on the agenda. So, Madam Clerk, do we have I guess we'll give people time to call in.
Mayor Yu, yeah, there's currently no callers on the line and no request to speak.
Okay, we'll give it a little bit of time for folks to call in before we adjourn our meeting. All right, nobody's calling in, and we will end the public comment. So before we adjourned, I want to mention that we want to adjourn tonight's meeting in memory of former Arcadia Council member and Mayor Roger Chandler, who passed on November 13th, and he was 77. And actually, our council meeting was watched not just by local residents. Actually, Janice Helmer actually emailed me to remind me to adjourn this meeting in Roger's memory, because Roger was once upon a time her next door neighbor. So Roger had lived in Temple City for 10 years, in Arcadia for over 40. He served on the Arcadia City Council for nearly 24 years. He was elected to 6 terms and served 4 times as mayor. As a lifelong servant of the public, Roger began his career at 21, joining the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, where he served with distinction for 24 years. And after retiring from the Sheriff's Department, he went on to become the chief of police of the LA City Housing Authority. And in 1994, he created the City of Hawaiian Gardens Police Department. I mean, there's some trivia that I didn't know until we actually did some research. So Mayor Chandler's legacy of service and his impact on Arcadia and also the rest of the county will live on for generations. So with that, we will adjourn our meeting. And have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you all.
Record.